Good morning. I hope you're well. Well, it's our last day here in Toronto, Canada. In a little while, we'll be headed down to Buffalo, New York. And on the way, we're going to stop at Niagara Falls, one of the wonders of the world, one of the things that people come from everywhere to see. I've seen the falls in Iguazu in Brazil, and I'm anxious to see for the first time this incredible vision of what God is capable of and the impact that water has on our planet and on our lives. It's been great to be here. It's just sad to be leaving. I'm on the steps of the church here, Gromley Missionary Church. You can see it probably behind me that this particular building was finished in 1965, but the history of this church goes back well over 100 years, and a lot of God's living water has flowed right here in this spot in the lives of many people. You know, I know from experience that it's possible for somebody to live right next to something incredibly beautiful, and because it's always there, they just don't appreciate it. And it is possible for us to live with the presence of Jesus in our life, which is a fountain of living water that springs up refreshed and new every day, and just take it for granted. People who live near beautiful beaches often don't even go to the beach. People who live near Niagara Falls probably don't even look in that direction when they walk by anymore. It's a little bit sad when people become accustomed to something that's so wonderful, but we can actually do that in our own lives. In John chapter 4, a woman was at the well. She was a thirsty woman. She had been in 5 different relationships that had failed, 5 marriages that had failed. She was living with a man who wasn't her husband, and she sure was in need of a trip to a refreshing place. And she didn't recognize who Jesus was, and he said to her, "If you knew the gift of God and who it is who says to you, 'Give me a drink,' you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water." You know, one of the things I think that is the most sad about many Christian lives is we become so enamored with everything that's going on around us. We become so focused on everything that's going on around us that we forget about what's going on in us. There's a phrase that author Thomas Kelly used that's a little strange, but he called it continuously renewed immediacy. And Thomas Kelly suggested that the secret of the Christian life is to awaken each day with a sense of the wonderful, immediate presence of God through Christ within us by the Holy Spirit. You know, it can become boring to be in the same spot all the time, and many people live in circumstances where they never get to see anything that's really all that beautiful. On the other hand, some people live right next to Niagara Falls, and they cease to be amazed at Niagara Falls or other places in the world where beautiful things are right next door. But one of the saddest things I think that I witness among believers, and this has happened within my own life, is this tendency that we have to forget the wonder that there is living water in us. On October 22nd, 1967, I became a believer in Jesus. And within me, there was birthed the most beautiful place in the universe. It's the place where the Father, Son, and Spirit have decided to live. My wife, Pam, she saw Niagara Falls when she was 15 years old, so that's 50 years ago. I've never seen Niagara Falls, but she's already told me, you're gonna really like Niagara Falls. You know, a lot of people around us, they've never seen Jesus and they've never recognized him, but if they could see him for the first time and then he entered their lives would be radically and forever changed. I don't know what kind of day you're having, but maybe you need a trip to the presence of Jesus within. In a little while, I'll be standing there looking at Niagara Falls. I'll probably take a few pictures and maybe post it on Facebook. But you know what? The most important thing about where I am every day is that I am in the presence of Jesus. He is the living water that lives in me. Don't forget what a beautiful view there is inside of you. Why don't you take a good look at Jesus again today? God bless you.